It's Burna Boy versus Cubana Chief Priest, and Burna Boy obviously is an international act, so a lot of people would know him for sure. But Cubana Chief Priest is pretty much in the entertainment world in Nigeria, pretty much successful in his own rights, very much so. He's part of the Davido's crew. He calls Davido his brother, Davido's wife his sister. The brother sister thing that goes on there, and he has his own thing. He has his own entertainment. I guess he's in the entertainment business, right? So he probably is, and maybe I don't know if he has any artists for sure, but he definitely has a nightclub that was shut down, by the way, by the Lagos government at some point because, according to the Lagos government, they zoned the area for only a restaurant, fast food kind of joints, right? And he wanted to turn it into like a nightclub at night, like a 24-hour entertainment place. Like in the daytime, it's going to be a fast food, and at night, he uses it as a club. But unfortunately, the Lagos government shut it down because the area where it was zoned is in a residential area, and having a nightclub in those kind of areas would disturb the peace of the neighbors, right? So it was shut down, I think, a few times, and then he decided to stop. I don't know if it's still functioning now. Maybe someone let me know if that fast food joint is still functioning in Lagos by Cubana Chief Priest. But he definitely has a hotel in Owerri. He has some other businesses in Owerri as well. So shout out to Cubana Chief Priest for sure. He's a successful person, but he's in his own rights, right? So what brought about this versus issue, right? The Cubana Chief Priest versus Burna Boy. Hey, Burna Boy doesn't need any introduction. He's the owner of the Yay song. Yeah, 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 yeah. That was the song I think that brought him into the limelight in maybe 2018, 19, maybe 2020. That song brought him into the limelight, and there's a lot of Nigerians all over the place, right? And that was a great song. I'm not even gonna lie. And then he dropped the breakfast song, last you don't cast. Now everybody go chop breakfast. That other one that was another big one he did. And he was all over the place as well. So shout out to Burna Boy as well. He needs no introduction. He's an international act, big big dog. He's done everything he needs to do in the music business and the entertainment business, and he's gotten the rewards for it for sure. He definitely didn't just start in 2018. He's been doing music way back since maybe 2000 and I don't know. I wouldn't say 10, but damn near around that period. So he's been in the business for a long time. So he's done his thing. He's paid his dues, and he's reaping the dividends for sure. But hey, we're not here to talk about the accolades. We're here to talk about the issues going on between he and Cubana Chief Priest. It's all about the Grammys, right? The Grammys, allegedly, and this started with Speed Darlington, and this is how Speed Darlington got into the mix. This is how Speed Darlington got into the mix. Speed Darlington, first off, I'm going to start with Diddy, right? After Diddy was arrested, in the US, and now he's facing trial or awaiting trial for the charges that were brought against him. I don't know the charges off the top of my head, but I think trafficking was human trafficking, sex trafficking, distribution of drugs. I guess all those things were in there in the charges. But as we all know, Burna Boy is an associate of Diddy. And as we all know too, he was definitely. I mean, I can also say allegedly, Diddy's influence was there. That made him win the Grammy. I forget the year he won the Grammy, but it was allegedly with the influence of Diddy. Because Diddy has a lot of influence in the music industry globally, right? So Burna Boy, being an associate of his, reaped the dividend. Allegedly, allegedly reaped the dividend, and won the Grammy. After he won, I think he must have been the first Nigerian to win a Grammy. But somebody let me know in the comment section if Burna Boy is the first Nigerian to win a Grammy. He won that Grammy, and now we know all the charges that were brought against Diddy. And when those charges were brought up against Diddy, a lot of people had this same question. Hey, if every other person who's associated with Diddy in the US is going through this backlash right now, about all the sex orgies and all that good stuff, the baby oil stuff and all that, right? Why isn't Burna Boy also talked about, right? Burna Boy is or was an associate of Diddy. I mean, you can't now dissociate or distance yourself from the man when he's in trouble, right? But when he was free out there doing his thing, you were, his associate, proud to be around him and all that good stuff. But now when things are leaking, you don't want to be associated with him. So Speed Darlington, that's where Speed Darlington comes in. Speed Darlington had the boldness to ask this question, and he has a huge following. So it kind of ruffled the feathers of Burna Boy, right? It ruffled the feathers of Burna Boy just a little bit, right? Speed Darlington asked the question that was on every Nigerian's mind. Hey, Burna Boy, how about you? If they are saying Diddy was bisexual, allegedly, if Diddy was bisexual, allegedly, and having sex with men, allegedly, how come you're exempt when you won this Grammy and we know that you were an associate of Diddy? What is going on here? You need to answer these questions. I don't have that video here, otherwise I'll play it and we all see it and talk about it, right? But hey, if anybody has that video, please share the link and we can all go back there and watch it, right? But hey, that was a question Speed Darlington asked, and Burna Boy wrote a petition to the police, the Nigerian police, and the Nigerian police locked Speed Darlington up. Now, to me, that's a little bit of a hypocrisy, right? That's where the hypocrisy for Burna Boy, that's where it started, right? Because there was one time in history where Dami Crane, who was one time an associate of Davido, Dami Crane was making some allegations against Davido about him allegedly murdering some people and some people that were around him, and allegedly trying to say that he had some evidence that was going to put Davido in prison. Burna Boy put up a tweet. Burna Boy put up a tweet and said, "Hey, I don't stand for this. Even though I'm not friends with," I'm paraphrasing here, obviously, but he put up a tweet. If anybody can, please show us. I would like to. I can't find it right now because I'm on live and I don't want to waste anybody's time. But Burna Boy put up a tweet and said, "Even though I'm not cool with Davido, I wouldn't want to see anybody go to jail for anything, right? So stop making comments like that. Comments like that are weak." I'm paraphrasing here, but he said something in those lines. And a lot of people, he gained a lot of following for that, a lot of encouragement for that. Yeah, you can't be saying stuff like that. We're trying to fight the police brutality in Nigeria, and look at you trying to put somebody in prison. But let's fast forward down now to 2025 or 2024, actually, when it actually happened, right? Burna Boy wrote a petition to the police and put somebody in prison, and this person, Speed Darlington, has been in jail since 2024, sometime in December. He spent Christmas in jail. He spent New Year in jail, and he's currently still in jail as of the 5th of January 2025, right? Which is sick, and that's the hypocrisy there. Because Burna Boy, who was at one time advocating for Davido, saying, even though I'm not cool with you, right, I wouldn't want to see you in prison. But now he's doing the same thing to a different person. This only tells me it's all about class, right? It's all about class and the hypocrisy. But hey, let's keep talking about this, right? And now something happened somewhere along the lines this year, and Burna Boy started talking about Cubana Chief Priest. You remember Cubana Chief Priest, right? The one I was talking about earlier, who's an associate of Davido, who has his businesses in Owerri and Lagos and all that good stuff. Very successful guy in his own right, right? He started talking some shit about Cubana Chief Priest. I'm going to look here if I have a picture of that. First off, he started talking about Davido. He said, if you ever lied, this was on his Instagram stories, by the way. He said, if you ever lied about buying Sujimoto's house in Banana when you only rented it, do better in 2025. If you ever lied about Elele's house being yours, do better in 2025. If you have an aftermarket Rainbow Daytona, please stop telling people it's real. Do better in 2025. It should be a criminal offense to tell as many lies as certain men. The list can go on and on. All right. This now, people translated this to be or to mean that he was, because we know the feud that's going on, the internet trolling feud that's been going on between Davido and Burna Boy, right? People assume this would be Davido he was referring to, and it didn't take an hour. The owners of Sujimoto's, or the managers or whatever of Sujimoto's buildings in Lagos, Banana Island, they released a press or a Twitter statement saying, "Hey, Davido purchased that house cash, and he doesn't owe us anything. He's not renting it." So I wonder why Burna Boy will keep saying stuff like this if they're not verified. If he doesn't have any information, he keeps saying, making lies like this. Now, if he was the same person that made Speed Darlington go to jail or stay in jail, would it be right for Davido to do the same thing to him? Or he thinks because he's successful and wealthy, that doesn't apply to him? That's another hypocrisy. But we're going to keep going, right? We're going to keep going. So he made that tweet first. And then after that, he made another. That wasn't a tweet. That was an Instagram story, right? After that, he made another one where he was somewhat of accusing Cubana Chief Priest now of being a scammer. And nobody wants to be a scammer. Nobody wants to be termed a scammer, right? Because that's a sensitive word, right? So now he made that allegation, calling Cubana Chief Priest a scammer. And that triggered Cubana Chief Priest to just start going off. And that's where the feud started. In my opinion, right? Burna Boy is just dry snitching. That's one thing for sure. Because back then, I don't remember the year when he was advocating for Davido, saying Dami Crane shouldn't be saying stuff like that. We thought that was the lifestyle he was about, right? But now in 2025, he's doing the same opposite, doing the same things that Dami Crane did, and also putting people in jail for just saying things. Whether they are true or not, right? There are ways to go about them. There's a thing called cease and desist. You should try that first before trying to put somebody in jail. I think that's just fucked up, and that's just me, right? But hey, Cubana Chief Priest has been saying the same exact things that Speed Darlington said as well. Saying allegedly, your Grammy is filled with baby oil. And we know what that means, right? We know what that means, right? We know what that means, man. Hey, if you don't know what that means, you should check the comment section and you'd pretty much find out there, right? Hey, he's been saying your Grammy is filled with baby oil. We know it hurts, all that good stuff. And I'm gonna try to find one other one that Cubana Chief Priest has said here, right? Cubana Chief Priest, by the way, has brought out photos of where both of them were hanging out, and he paid him some money back in 2018 to do a show, and how he put money in his mouth and all that good stuff. Hey, at the end of the day, I think all of this is just entertainment. Absolutely, it's gonna make for good conversations like this, like for me as well, right? And for any other bloggers out there, it's gonna make for great conversations for sure. However, these are two very successful people coming on the internet and just making a joke of themselves. I wouldn't want to say, oh, this person is at fault here, this person is not at fault here, because it could go both ways, right? And nobody would be right or wrong at the end of the day, right? But hey, I just think it's ridiculous for the both of them to come on the internet and keep doing stuff like this. It should stop. Burna Boy is an artist. If he wants, he can put in his music and let's listen. This is what people do. This is what Drake do. This is what the people did, the Drakes of the world. This is what they do. This is what the Kendrick Lamars, this is what they do, right? They go put in their music and make money off of that as well. I would love to see stuff like that instead of internet fights. This is not what men do, right? And even to talk about Burna Boy, who portrays this gangster lifestyle, this is not how gangsters behave, right? This is not how gangsters behave. Gangsters don't come on the internet and just start fighting, saying things and all that good stuff and jailing people. That's not what gangsters do, man. Come on now. You guys can do better for sure. And please stop. And for Burna Boy, I would say, put it in your music. That would make for great content for sure. Would love to hear some good music from you as well. It's been a while we heard a banger from you, right? I can't remember the last banger you did. The last one you did was, in my opinion anyway, was the last music. Everybody go chop breakfast. That was the last biggest song you did. You did another one, Higher, which was a great song, but it wasn't as big as last for Yeah. You see what I'm saying, right? So maybe write this stuff, put it in a song, and let us listen to it. Would love to hear stuff like that from you. And for Chief Priest, man, I don't know. I wouldn't. You're not an artist. You're just a promoter, or you're just in the entertainment business. I don't know, man. But again, you're a very successful guy. I've not seen a lot of successful people come on the internet and just start trolling, saying stuff. You guys can do better at the end of the day. But hey, with that, I'm just gonna move to the next story because if I can keep going all day talking about this story because it's just so hilarious, ridiculous, and just insane at the same time. But hey, tell me what you think in the comment section. If you think Bonner Boy is at fault, if you think Cubana Chief Priest is at fault, or if you think or how you think this can be solved. But I would like to see Speed Darlington freed from jail, and I know Cubana Chief Priest has promised to get him out of jail tomorrow. That would be a great thing for him to do for sure. And shout out to Cubana Chief Priest for that for sure.